Welcome to Tech Notice. This is the Falcon Eyes BL-30TD Mark II, and on paper this should be an Aputure 300d killer. Is this the reality? Well, let's dig deeper into some of the details about this light. So I just want to make this video and kind of open a conversation, and I'd like to get some feedback in the comment section below of other people who've maybe had this light or had some experience with this light. So please feel free to comment below, correct me if I've been wrong, or if you have any other useful information, I'd love to know from you. So first of all, this light comes in a box like this. This is heavy light, and it retails around £670, around 700 mark over there, which is actually even less than the Aputure 120d Mark II. So you should be getting much more output power and much more kind of bang for your buck. But I've had a few issues with this light, and I'd like to share them with you. Now, this is not my full review because I've only used this on a one shoot and I've done some testing in here, but this was enough for me to kind of think, no, I'm gonna send it back, and I'm not quite happy with the light. Don't worry, I'm gonna go more in detail with this. The first thing is the build quality is just lacking a little bit. Now I'm getting the light out of the box, and wait a second, there's a bit of glue on here, so it's dirty coming out straight from the box. Obviously I haven't been in dirty environments. I've literally just set it up on a post, put it back on the box, that's it. There's some glue all over the place, so it's not quite like clean or very aesthetic that I would expect from light that expensive. And all the metal trims and all the metals, you can see that the soldering and things like that is very rough, and it's been cut and just painted and doesn't feel like a professional quality. And especially when I'm looking, I'm just going to turn it off for now. As you can hear, it's gone much quieter because the fan is a little bit loud in here, and there's a fan in there as well. But when you're looking at the actual LED cob inside there, it's dirty. There's really cheap plastic around it. There is no protection obviously for the LEDs, just so you know. Aputure has some kind of like a glass in front of it, and then there's just some dirt around the actual chip, which is just like, why is this there? Do you know what I mean? It comes straight from the factory, it should be brand new unit, things like that. I'm just gonna moan a little bit, and then I'm gonna tell you the good sides as well. Don't worry about it. This Bowen's mount is very, very fiddly. Okay, I don't know if this is what Bowen's mounts are, or what other lights are like this as well, but this feels very, very flippery and slippery. Getting it out, I'm not quite a fan of this release system either. It's very hard to put it in when you've got a big softbox. It's really hard to kind of get it in there. There is like a locking mechanism, things like that, but I don't know, not quite a fan of it. It doesn't work as smoothly as I would want it to. One of the last things is this locking mechanism on the side here to tighten it, like the angle, up and down over here. So there's just this little knob where there's like little sections have been cut off. It's a circle, but it's not very, very strong. So if you want to like get it very, very tight, things like that, it's not as easy as if you would have, like a lever. If you had a little handle over here, it would be much easier. And when looking in the clutch or whatever mechanism that is here that stops it from moving up and down, it just doesn't feel straight. It doesn't feel like very durable, if you know what I mean. Also, I can see that all these screws that have been screwed in the front over here, like this chip little cover over here, it's been hand screwed in or somehow, because they've actually over threaded the screws. So the screws, it's a Phillips head, and it's gone a little bit over and it's dirty on the side. So I don't know if it's hand built, maybe it is, but it doesn't feel like that. Brightness, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. I've had a few issues with the brightness. At first I put it on full 100% and I was like, wait a second, it doesn't feel as bright as it should, look according to the specs. I bought this light meter. It's a very cheap one. At first I thought maybe my light meter is not good enough, or maybe it's not very good, as this Sekonic light meters that are £1,000 or something like that. But then I looked what was the actual measurement of this Falcon Eyes RX18TD, which is the light I'm using, and then kind of measuring the maximum brightness of this, and then comparing the reading of my light meter to the factory provided specs, and it was only like within 3% difference. Now when I measured this with this light, I'm getting some mixed results. Okay, yesterday I got some lower results, and then today I'm getting a little bit of different results. So I'm not sure if this actual chip is inconsistent and what does it, you know, I don't know, depend on. But according to the Falcon Eyes spec sheet and, you know, according to the factory, should produce around 156,000 to 171,000 lux at 0.5 meters. Because they showed me there's like a 2 lights that they tested. One was 156,000 lux and the other one 171,000 lux. That is quite a big difference between 2 separate lights, which shows me the inconsistency of what it is. Now, when I measured mine, I got the measurement of 83,000 lux. So that is like half the percentage or half the brightness that it should produce, kind of from 0.5 meters. Now, when I'm taking it to 1 meter, I'm getting less of a difference from what they are producing in the factory or what they provide from the specs, and then even less of a difference when I'm in 2 meters. So I'm not quite sure what is the difference. My one theory is, correct me someone if I'm wrong, is that this light meter over here is not as sensitive on the higher brightnesses as it is on the lower one, because I'm much closer to the reading on the lower, like 2 meters or 1 meter lengths with this light than I am at 0.5 meters. So to actually get that 156,000 lux meter reading, what I have to do is, let me try it now on camera, okay? Let's just blast it somewhere over here. By the way, the light goes from 3000 kelvins to 8000 kelvins. So from very blue to quite yellow. But I'm gonna go to 5600 kelvins and then take this off. And now go to dimmer. And then let's see what is the maximum that I can get out from this light. Okay, it measures maximum brightness now. I'm at 5%, probably around 20 centimeters away. Let's turn it. Okay. 120. I'm almost touching the knob now. I'm still 131. Measuring straight away from the, whoa, let's turn this off. So when I measured it straight away from like touching the actual reflector, I'm still getting 131.5 lux maximum brightness. 131.5. I can't get the measurement of the max brightness out of this light. Now please let me know in the comment section below if you have any idea why this might be, or what might be the cause of this. I'd really like to know. But in terms of me, I'm gonna send it back because I just didn't find it as usable as I wanted to. I just remembered another thing that kinda was really annoying for me, is that the carrying case that it goes in feels very, very cheap plastic material, and I'm okay with that if it actually works. But the thing is, inside, when I'm trying to put the light inside over here, it doesn't actually fit with the cutout layout. You have to put the light in an angle and it always cuts the sides, because there's no way how you can put this light in like just normally, you know, just slotting it in and no problem. It just doesn't quite fit in there. The box, or the dimmer box, goes nicely over here and there's no problem with the dish over here as well. It's fine, but just the light just doesn't quite fit in here. And I'm just thinking, come on, this should be like easy slot in, you know, once you've done it. But I'm just like fiddling around for ages trying to fit the light in there, which is not quite, you know, what you would want. It's just the usability of it just kind of lacks of something and makes me a little bit sad. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not here to like just dish Falcon Eyes, because I'm using the products. This is like one of my main lights and absolutely love this light. RX18TD, absolutely fantastic product. But I'm just feeling that on this product, it's not quite ready, or something's missing, if you know what I mean. So let's also talk about the good sides. This is a color changeable light, so you can change the colors from 3000 to 8000. Massive difference. You can have, you know, like some yellow light and completely blue light. It's almost like getting yellow to blue, and then having daylight somewhere in the middle, which is very, very good. Another thing is you can use this with battery powered. You can put V-mount batteries on the both sides over here and then power it from the batteries. You can also power it from the mains if you want to. There is an Ethernet cable DMX ports over here if you want to connect it through, you know, DMX and have this as like a spotlight or in the theaters or wherever how you want to use it. It's a very good option as well. It can also be controlled via remote over here, 2.4G wireless and network system. You're gonna have to buy the remote separately, which Aputure lights usually come with the remote, which is a bit better. You can, yeah, stand it up upside like this or sideways on the floor like that. It's got legs on the bottom and then on the sides, which is very nice. So there are some functions over here as well. So there's lighting scene if you want to. There's TV scenes if you want to see the TV over here. And there's like a few scenes built in, candlelight over here. So if you want to use it like creatively, you can do that. It's very awesome. You know, this is, I think, fireworks and things like that. So there you go. Okay, this is proper. I don't know what that is. Okay, this is, I think, lights, car lights. So there's loads of interesting functions built in if you want to use it for that as well. So there's a lot of potential in this, because when I looked at it, it was much cheaper. It was, you know, 40% cheaper than the Falcon Eyes Aputure 300d. And then there was so much more features in it. And I thought, wow, I'm getting much more power. I'm getting much more bang for my buck, basically. But I'm not quite getting it. And I feel like the build quality is not as good. So if you have any other feedback for me, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. If you want to check out some of this, like what this light is, and actually I'm going to leave some links in the description as well for the original link of this light if you want to buy it or if you want to check out some other facts about this. Thanks guys for watching. I'll meet you in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, adios.